Born in the moonlight. Ain't a fan to say. Can't breathe in the sunlight.
Hello beautifuls, this is Aromie here and welcome back to Changeling. We are here, chapter 3, Danny's route, Fairy Glamour. I was walking through fog, my body was heavy and I was lost in it I was gonna say expensive white. An expansive white. As far as I could see, there was nothing in front of me or to either side. My feet were cold. It felt like I was tripping through underbrush and wet leaves, but I couldn't see it. Where am I? Am I sleepwalking again? Fog faded to darkness. I moved forward against my own attempts to stop my feet. No matter how hard I tried to stop, I kept staggering ahead. Was I dreaming? I didn't know, but it didn't feel like a dream. The sensation of soggy moss and leaves against my feet was all too real. But why couldn't I see? Why couldn't I feel properly? There was a soft voice, muttering, hoarse, and rustling in my ears. It was my voice. It always was. This has to be sleepwalking. Jesus. It's October 22nd. I jolted awake at the realization I was outside again. Dread washed over me as I tried to get my bearings. Where was the house? How far had I walked? I wrapped my arms around myself as cold wind gusted through the trees. My breath frosted the air. The cold stinging in my throat as I repeatedly told myself to stay calm. Panicking is just going to get you even more lost. I said that, but I had no idea which way I'd been walking all this time, and I couldn't make out a clear trail without at least a little moonlight to help me out. Every so often the clouds would part enough for me to get a glimpse of my surroundings. Not enough to know where I was, though. Teeth chattering, I started to move. Walking would at least keep me warm. Even if I didn't know where I was going, I just did an about face, hoping I had been walking in a more or less straight path. It was when I turned that I caught sight of something gleaming in the bushes not far away. Two points of greenish light. I froze. That was eye shine. My heart leaped in my throat when I realized a pair of golden eyes were watching me from the underbrush. Which one are you? Are you Derek or Sean? Because one of them had these golden eyes, I believe. Did Danny have golden eyes? It was a huge, hulking shadow whose details I couldn't quite make out. I could only see the eyes clearly, two spots of light that winked in and out as it moved. We stared at each other for what seemed like eternity. There was a shuffling sound and the shadow moved closer. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. Out of here. I turned and fled. It was stupid to run in freezing forest at night with no shoes, but it would have been as stupid to stay. I crashed through the trees and underbrush blindly. I'll never get back at this rate. I knew I was just losing myself deeper in the woods, but I could hear that thing crashing through the trees behind me. I clapped both hands to my ears and ran without looking back. Leaves and twigs cracked beneath my feet. Thorns tore at my night clothes. I wasn't sure how long or how far I ran, but when my lungs were burning with the cold and the pain in my feet and legs was too much to bear, I finally ducked behind a tree to rest. My breath was coming in ragged gasps, but that burned my throat. I tried to breathe as quietly as I could and listen for any sounds of pursuit over the roar of my heartbeat. There was nothing. Maybe it gave up. Hell no, it's trying to sense you out. I wanted to just stay until the dizziness passed, but I staggered to my feet. I figured I would need to keep moving even if I'd lost it. I carefully picked my way through the underbrush as quietly as possible. I could barely breathe. I was covered in scratches and I still had no idea where I was. But I had to get out of the forest and back to where there were houses or streets. What time even is it? If I wasn't back before Mom woke up, it would be bad. It would be so bad. Maybe not as bad as getting mauled to death by a hulking black shape in the woods at night, but a pretty close second. And because being mauled to death was even on the table at all, I needed to find my way to a place someone would hear and come to my rescue if I screamed. I glanced over my shoulder worriedly, but I didn't hear or see signs of pursuit. If I could just make it back to the neighborhood, I could possibly come up with some weird excuse why I was outside. That was my hope anyway. I made my way over to fallen woods, and who knows how many years worth of rotted leaves and moss. How did one even navigate a forest at night? Not like I could use the stars hidden as they were. Not that I have been able to navigate by the stars anyway. I'm not a freaking pirate. I pushed a branch out of the way and set my foot down. Nothing. Without warning, I pitched forward into the yawning black in front of me. The ravine! Dad had warned us about it before. There was a terrifying moment where it felt like time slowed and I hung there in nothingness, about to fall. Bitch! I tried to scream but nothing came out. Then as I started to drop down the side of the ravine, someone's arm wrapped around my waist and pulled me back from the edge. The scream finally bubbled up in my throat, but whoever it was clapped a hand over my mouth. Michiko, it's me. It's me. Who's you?
Who are you? You. No, not me, you. Yes, I am you.
I nearly sobbed when I realized it was Danny. Whoa, bitch, what? You are the wolf! I wasn't completely sure who had golden eyes. He pulled me against him tightly as we fell backwards with a loud crash. I just stared into the darkness in front of us. I couldn't even tell. Is that a tattoo? Wow, you're so handsome. I have a thing where I'm like, I get really flustered when there's like a lot of chest, like guys with no shirt on a whole lot, whether it's real life humans or drawn characters. I must cover my eyes. I couldn't even tell there wasn't solid ground there. I nearly died. I let out a choked moan and drew my legs up tightly as tears swelled in my eyes. Danny held me tightly. It's okay. It's okay. I felt like an idiot, a complete idiot, but I finally started sobbing uncontrollably. Honestly, they need to put a fence or something around that area. Then he just wrapped me in his arms and held me while I cried. Oh God, I was so glad to suddenly not be alone out here. I held on to him tightly as if I was afraid he was going to suddenly vanish. Danny didn't say a word until the sobs petered into pathetic sniffles. He just silently stroked my hair and let me cry for a long time. God. It's a lot of chest, dude. And it's very, like, toned. You okay? No. To be honest, I could have died. I had finally more or less stopped and was now too mortified to even lift my head and look at him. It was definitely not like me to just lose it like that. I nodded against his bare shoulder, and that's when it dawned on me. Where's your shirt? I hadn't noticed at first, but yeah, skin. And here I was, crying and sobbing all over him. Poor guy. Then it gave me a pained look that I could barely make out in the gloom. I didn't have time to put it on. You're lucky I'm wearing pants. What? Well, it's just the full moon is still fading, so for me that means... Wait! Was that you I saw? He gave me a tight squeeze. Sorry I scared you. I just didn't expect to see you there. Well, now I felt like an even bigger idiot. I pulled away from him, hiding my face as I scrubbed at my eyes with the back of my hand. Moving away from his heat made me even more intensely aware of the cold. Sorry. Please don't apologize. This is totally my fault. I shook my head. Definitely not. I shouldn't even have been out there in the first place. I'm just glad I got to you before he trailed off. I don't think either of us wanted to consider what had almost just happened. I didn't know you could decide when to turn back into a human. I kind of figured werewolves didn't have much control over transformations, though come to think of it, I'd read that they could learn, hadn't I? I'm still learning. I can't always control the transformations, especially not when I turn into the wolf. In a way, it's sometimes easier to change back if I've been in the wolf form for a while, though. I'm still surprised I was able to do it tonight. Maybe you just needed motivation. I gave him a tremulous smile, still pretty shaken up. Like keeping you from doing a nosedive into the ravine? Yes, like that. I shivered as Danny reached up and brushed my hair out of my face. I could barely make out his features, but his eyes stood out starkly. Gold, beautiful, and definitely not human. Are you alright? Are you really alright? Sorry. Shaken but not stirred. Definitely shaken, though. Very shaken. What were you doing? I've been following you for a while before you spotted me, but I wasn't sure what you were up to. Just tell him I was sleepwalking? Avoid the question, make up an excuse, or tell him what happened. Tell him what happened. His little, like, happy trail here. I don't really know. I think I was sleepwalking, but I swallowed hard and rubbed at my eyes. This isn't the first time I've done this. I don't know what's going on. It started after we moved back, and now I've left the house in the middle of the night twice. When I woke up, I was just standing there in the trees, and then I saw you. He grimaced. The gleam of his eyes vanished as he looked away from me, and I really should have realized it was you. At some point, it should have occurred to me that maybe the big golden-eyed creature was my werewolf neighbor. Danny suddenly pulled me close again, hugging me tightly. I'm sorry, I should have stayed out of sight until I could transform again. You totally wouldn't have had pants if you transformed right then. I felt his awkward laugh vibrate against my cheek and pulled away again, very aware of the fact that he was half naked and I was just in my pajamas. My face grew warm and I mentally kicked myself for blushing at a time like this. I was glad it was so dark because I have no doubt I wouldn't have been able to stop myself from gawking at his almost definitely amazing abs if I could have seen them properly. I mean, I didn't know they were amazing, but if I was judging by his biceps, I could imagine. So where exactly did the pants come from anyway? Never thought I'd asked anyone that in this particular context. He laughed sheepishly. I keep a couple of stashes of clothes in the woods. You ran close enough to one of them that I decided to make a detour. I shivered violently and rubbed my hands up and down my arms. It is stupidly cold out here. My fingers and toes were already numb. Danny got to his feet and offered me his hand. I stood as well, hugging my arms around myself and wishing I slept in something warmer and not dotted in pink hearts. I am burning these pajama pants after this. There are some spare clothes back where I grabbed these pants, a shirt, and some shoes. Let's go get them and we'll head home. You know where we are? We're not that far from your house, don't worry. It held his hand out and I took it. His fingers were nearly as cold as mine. Then he led me carefully through the trees with much surer footing than I'd had as I was running earlier. I could barely see, but he didn't seem to have any issues. Werewolves probably have a pretty decent night vision. At least that seemed likely. I didn't really know much about them, to be honest. It wasn't long before we came up on a small group of trees on a slightly raised bit of ground. There was an overturned box there with a few articles of clothing scattered around it. It was actually pretty smart to keep them around the woods, especially if his transformations were a little unpredictable. Given my current problem, maybe I should style some out here too. I only planned on one person needing clothes, so give me a sec to figure out how to divide this up. He glanced at my bare feet as he crouched down. The moon finally broke through the clouds, sending faint shafts of light down through the tree branches. I found myself staring at a really nicely muscled back. Dang, he must work out a lot. What, is it time to be thinking about that? I realized there was something on his right shoulder and edged a bit closer, a tattoo. That was surprising somehow. I couldn't see extremely well, but I could tell it was a pretty complex geometric pattern. I bet that hurt. Before I could ask about it, he held out a large flannel shirt and a pair of socks. I'll give you these. I'll take the shoes. I don't think they'd stay on your feet anyway. That's fine. I quickly pulled on the shirt. It swallowed me, but it was warm, and I didn't care that it hung nearly to my knees. I feel like a shrunken lumberjack. He chuckled as he pulled on the shoes. I quickly busied myself with pulling the socks up practically to my knees. Stop staring at him. God. Good Lord, Michiko. Danny pushed the empty box under some leaves and motioned me closer. Hop on. Piggyback ride? What? I'll carry you. Wait, he wants me to get on his back? I'll just walk on my own, don't worry. No, it's definitely not doing that. Just the thought of it was completely embarrassing. I'll just walk on my own. Those socks aren't going to offer your feet much protection. The ground is wet. In a few minutes, they'll be soaked. And you may as well not even be wearing them. I know, but... He said and set his hands on my shoulder, peering down at me through the dark. I know you like to do things on your own. I actually really like that about you. Oh, cute! But you're already freezing. Carrying you means we both get the benefit of body heat. Body heat? My brain went a little numb. Aren't you supposed to be naked for that to work? Why? Wait, no, backtrack. The mental images. I do not need to be thinking about this right now. Michiko? Sorry, just talking to myself in my mind. Why the heck am I thinking about stupid things at a time like this? I can definitely walk on my own. I took a step away from him, but he grabbed my hand. Michiko, your hands are like ice. Come on, please? I looked over at him cautiously. I couldn't see enough of his face to know what sort of expression he had right now. But he was right. I was definitely freezing. His hand was cold too. Fine. He let out a sigh of relief and turned away, crouching slightly. I climbed onto his back awkwardly, and he hugged his arms under my legs so he could lift me as I stood. I buried my face against his shoulder, trying to not die of humiliation. Hi, Heavy. Danny just chuckled. Are you kidding? Not at all. Do you think you'll be able to get back inside without waking up your folks? I think so. Probably. Last time it wasn't a problem. My parents are frighteningly deep sleepers. Okay, good. If you get caught, just blame it on me. We can say I convinced you to sneak out and hang out with me or something. I lightly bopped him on the back of the head. I'm not going to blame anything on you. Though if my mom thought I was sneaking out to meet up with a boy, she'd probably be thrilled. That's lucky, I suppose. My parents would be less than thrilled about me sneaking out for any reason. Though I don't have much choice. At least not for a few days every month. But I just don't like it. I don't like lying to them. I don't like secrets. Haven't you ever heard or ever thought about telling them the truth? I mean, Elliot's family knows about him. Or is it not allowed? I'm still fuzzy on how the rules work. Elliot's family knew about the situation? I didn't know. Were we supposed to go to his route before Danny's route? The rules for werewolves are nearly as lenient as the ones for vampires, especially since there's no magic involved. But my dad is a little more high-strung than Mozzie's. I don't know how he'd take it. So he was afraid to tell them. I can understand that. I can't imagine telling my family either, for different reasons. Then again, the one thing I did know was that I wasn't allowed because I was Fae. I gave Danny a gentle squeeze. So the Fae can't tell their family. You'll eventually be able to tell them, I'm sure. Maybe. We walked in silence for a few minutes, and by we I mean Danny walked, and I just held on and tried not to slip off his back. Is that your friend? Or friends? A long drawn-out house suddenly broke the silence. I tensed as it rose, then was joined by several others. It's okay, they're really far off, probably just coyotes. Okay, I forgot that was also a thing. A chill ran through me. Didn't sound like coyotes to me. The howls were deep and mournful. They brought to mind something much bigger than coyotes. I remember hearing that same howl the first night I woke up outside. I squeezed Danny tightly, listening to the howls slowly trail away as we walked. The silence was eerie, and unlike Danny, I couldn't see around us very well. It was super creepy. I needed something to get my mind off the fact that I couldn't see more than a few feet on either side of us. I kept waiting for something else to jump out at us. Well, what's that tattoo in your arm? My voice sounded startlingly loud somehow, but it was better than the silence. Oh, that? Just something I got last year, a nod to my heritage. It's really cool. Well, it's not exactly traditional, but I like it. My dad has a much bigger traditional one. He'd kind of like me to get one someday too, but I don't know. I don't know much about traditional tattoos. He just laughed. It's called a malofei? Covers everything down the back from the waist to the knee, basically. Whoa. Everything down the back from the waist into the knee? Dude, that's a lot. That must hurt really much. Getting one is a huge honor, and it's sort of a rite of passage as well. It's pretty steeped in Samoan culture. Can't say I really feel worthy of it. It's not really something to take lightly. Yeah, I feel like I don't know what TV show I was watching that was talking about these types of tattoos. Didn't feel worthy. I wasn't sure what to say to that. I couldn't imagine why he felt that way, but I felt like it wasn't my place to argue about it. I didn't know enough about Samoan culture to really make a comment on it. Anyway, the arm is just a decorative thing, really. There's no special significance to it beyond that I just wanted to have it, and the design is loosely based on traditional designs. It's really cool though. Thanks. That sounded so non-committal on my part. I wanted to tell him that it was beautiful. I hadn't seen it well, but I saw enough to know it was probably completely amazing in the light of day. I didn't know how to say that without it sounding weird. It wasn't long before I could see the gleam of porch lights through the trees. I let out a soft sigh of relief. Everything was silent. If my parents had found me gone, they'd probably already be raising the alarms and setting loose the hounds or something. Danny carried me right up to the back gate before he let me down. Thanks for carrying me. It's not a problem. I'm sorry I scared you before. It's fine. I should have realized it was you. I guess I was still half asleep. Thanks for, catching me before I fell. I owe you a coffee for that, at the very least. Don't offer unless you want me to take you up on that. You don't get a choice but to take me up on it. You literally saved my life, but I'm gonna offer you coffee. But technically, coffee can save lives. Good to know. I'll get your shirt back to you tomorrow. No rush on that. Why were goodbyes always so awkward? I fidgeted with the hem of the shirt. Good luck sneaking back in? You too. I got the feeling he was actually waiting around to make sure I got in safely, which was kind of sweet. I waved and crept across my backyard. The back door was shut, but unlocked. I carefully opened it and glanced back. Danny was still there, waiting. I waved again and stepped inside. It was only when I shut the door that I saw him finally start toward his house. I smiled slightly before quietly stealing upstairs so I could bury myself in blankets, thaw myself, and quietly freak out for the rest of the night. There definitely wasn't much sleep that happened after that. Predictably, I had a late start the following morning. I missed my alarm, and when I finally stumbled downstairs, bleary-eyed and exhausted, I went straight for the coffee. And this is where I'm gonna stop because your girl played way too much. Okay. I'm almost out of save spots too, so that's quite worrying. But this is where we're gonna stop for today's episode. We learned that the werewolf was actually Danny. He is in a Samoan culture family. He has nice tat. He has nice chest. That our girl couldn't really see anything in the darkness, but he saved us from dying. So that's what's important. Anyway, thank you guys for watching today's episode. Stay beautiful, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
I still wonder next to